Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Noah Dentzel, CEO and co-founder of Nomad Goods. Thank you for joining us, Noah.
Thanks for having me on, Fred.
Well, we were scheduled to talk to you this week about your new AirPods Pro cases, which you have out, which are terrific products like all of your product line. But in the interim, something pretty dramatic has happened here in terms of what you're doing with your factory line. And I'll let you tell us about it and how you and the company there are really stepping up to fill a need.
Yeah, so we've actually just launched our new AirPods Pro cases with active leather, and that is a waterproof leather. And that is what was in the pipeline we had been working on for a while. But what blindsided us all, in which we found ourselves adapting to quite urgently, is the unprecedented and pressing need for face masks, personal protective equipment, and other medical supplies. About 10 days ago, we had the idea that maybe Nomad could help get some medical goods to the community because we saw so much need in the news. We saw so many stories of shortages of the just massive shortages of personal protective equipment. And we realized, looking at our own supply chain and our own capabilities, supply chain in China, warehouse in Hong Kong, warehouse here in California, that we were actually positioned really well to potentially fast track the distribution of face masks. So we made a very kind of bold move forward with the whole sort of time and effort of the Nomad team behind that to get face masks to frontline responders in need. And we're doing this whole mission at cost. The goal is to get as many masks to as many frontline responders as quickly and inexpensively as possible. So typical product cycle maybe for something like AirPods Pro is maybe 6 months, going from concept into delivery. And we pulled this mass initiative off from concept to delivery in about 6 days. So it's quite an impressive undertaking by the Nomad team.
And what you've done, you've taken an iPhone case factory and turned it into a clean room for production of face masks. These aren't we should make clear, these aren't the N95 respirators that some in hospitals and medical needs are, but these are face masks that are worn by a lot of medical personnel and EMTs, et cetera.
Yeah, that's correct. We're focusing initially on the face masks, also known as surgical masks. And there's been a lot of talk about these as a lot of information has been developing and being disseminated on a daily basis. The governor here, Gavin Newsom in California, just announced that California was going to announce their mask wearing guidelines within the next 24 hours. This is a really developing program that we're on. There's a lot of new thoughts coming to the table on a daily basis almost. And what we're seeing now is some countries in Europe are adopting a mask policy. Austria just announced one. Some German cities have. Is we're seeing that a lot of some of these Western countries are looking to what has been done in Asia to combat the spread of coronavirus. And they've found that masks are a very effective way for the mass population to reduce transmission to others and to protect themselves. And that is it's not the end all be all, but it's an important component in the program of washing your hands, wearing a mask, social distancing and isolation. And that these measures, when taken together by the society in general, are quite a powerful shield against the transmission of coronavirus and a helpful tool in flattening the curve so we don't overburden our healthcare systems.
Now, initially, at least here, you're prioritizing the medical community. They can go online and order these now basically at your cost?
That's correct. This is an at-cost initiative. So we're not looking to profit off this, certainly not to gouge. In fact, we were driven in part by some of the stories we saw in the news about some of the gouging that was happening, by seeing some of the governors talk about how they were having to compete against other states in order to get supplies at an affordable price. And we realized if we're able to work with our factories who are coming onto the scene here as new additional supply into this field, so it's not a sum zero game. They're actually new supply that's being added to the medical supply chain here. And keep in mind, our factories that make bags and cases and these products, a lot of the same tools and materials and sources that they use and are the same tools and similar materials that it takes to make these PPEs. So yeah, they need to have, the proper supplies and so forth and to, use their own supply chain to get that. And to be clear as well, a lot of the prices on some of the medical supplies has increased quite a bit with the unprecedented surge, 100-fold or more in demand for this. But they're actually quite well positioned to make these masks. And in many ways, the masks are quite a bit simpler than some of the other products that they're used to making. So it's been a natural process there on the supply chain side and our factory partnership side, which is what it's allowed us to harness those relationships and that potential and those working relations to move forward so aggressively on this. And to be clear, we've already begun shipping units to frontline responders. We've shipped some tens of thousands of units already, and we have many more on order. So this initiative is not just a feel-good idea, but it's rubber meeting the road, and we are moving forward on it full bore ahead.
Now, as you mentioned, there may be an order or at least a strong recommendation that just about everybody wear a face mask like this. So will there come a time when you'll continue these supplies and be selling to the general public as well?
Well, Fred, when we started off with this, our hope was that this would be short-lived and that it would be filling some acute need in a time of out of desperation of sorts.
And you've done this remarkably fast.
Yeah, and that's huge. Kudos to the tremendous effort from the Nomad team and my co-founder Brian, who has just been really pushing aggressively on this effort. It reminds us of the early days of our company when we were always kind of facing our own more internal crises and kind of working magic to make things happen. And here we've kind of we're reliving some of that that DNA there and putting it to work, and it's been really great to see. But it's possible that this may unfortunately become a longer term phase, and we're prepared for that. This is of course a very evolving process. We're taking it day by day. We're trying to adapt and we're trying to help out. So as long as we can help and we can be relevant and be actually helping to improve things, helping to fight the spread of the virus, we are gonna do our part, and hopefully we can help inspire some other companies as well to step in. By all means, we're not looking for a competitive edge here. We're looking to disseminate information that we learn, so we can be on the front lines and share that information with other companies or organizations or individuals who want to help out, so we can kind of band together and help beat this thing, so we can get our lives and businesses and society back on track.
So you sounds like you're anxious to share what you've learned in setting this up so quickly with perhaps other companies that might be inclined to do the same.
Absolutely, and we've already been chatting with some. There's a lot of unknowns right now. Anytime you're moving forward so aggressively without the luxury of being able to prepare in advance, the way we might typically prepare for a more standard product launch, there's going to be a lot of unknowns. We've had a lot of questions. Is this legal? Is this? Is this the right customs code? Is this possible? And we just have to move forward and figure those things out along the way. They say entrepreneurship is jumping out of an airplane and building a parachute on your way down. And I think that's really described some of the process here of we're moving forward. We're doing it properly. We're using medical grade products. Everything's up to spec. We're definitely ensuring this, rigorous quality control. But at the same time, in terms of some of the hurdles and unknowns in this, accelerated process fast tracking we're going through here, we are crossing those bridges as we get there. But we're not stalling because due to fear and uncertainty, the way we might normally be a little bit more patient on a more typical peacetime product launch.
And reading from your website, you've got 3 priorities set up for people who would like to order. Number 1, medical professionals, and number 2, first responders, and number 3, essential businesses as well. So if your business falls into that category, they can qualify to order here. And then you're saying that you're streamlining the operation as much as possible to reduce cost. And if you make a profit, it will be used to help fight the COVID-19 crisis or donated to charity. Pretty remarkable thing you're doing.
That's correct. We're accepting donations. We've already raised over $5,000. We're looking to allocate as many supplies to frontline responders as possible. Something that we've seen is that the scope of the need is very wide. You have paramedics, you have even delivery drivers, Uber drivers, people who are finding themselves on the front lines, but who we're relying on, society's relying on them, and they're putting themselves in harm's way, even if they didn't necessarily sign up for that the same way that maybe someone in the medical community did. And we are looking as well to make them available to more of the general public as supplies, depending on supply levels. So we're certainly testing that out. The mission remains the same, to get them to people in need and limiting order quantities to make sure we can fulfill need. The more that we can get this to turn over, we can get the system working, shipping, orders being successfully delivered. One of the cool things that we have is our deep experience in global logistics. So we've shipped to over 150 countries. You name it, we've shipped it there, and boats, trains, trucks, planes, every way, shape, and form. We've been through it all, and we're very good at fast tracking that. We have deeply negotiated discounts with freight carriers like FedEx, and we're able to leverage those to really pass all those savings forward. And we've seen that by looking at other stuff that's happening out there, we're able to actually really serve a genuine need and purpose here. So when we realized that, we sort of found a calling in that, and it was something that we were naturally able to rally behind and kind of put our best foot and minds forward here, and get our hands dirty with this all, because that is in some ways what we're best at as a team.
Well, you've become well known for your high quality and beautiful leather cases for phones and devices, and now for the AirPods as well, and so well known for that. And it seems to me you're going to be pretty well known for what you're doing here as well.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, the mission remains to get medical supplies to those in need, frontline responders, and we'll see where this goes. Again, it's a bit of a curve. It's a bit of a curveball for us all, and we're adapting as need be. We actually are working on getting some of the KN95 masks. That's the Chinese equivalent of the N95 respirators, which the KNs of 95s have recently just been authorized by the CDC. So there's a changing regulatory environment. So we are monitoring this and adapting, and certainly moving forward quickly despite some of the chaos. That all being said, we remain focused on our other mission of building tools for the modern nomad, building best-in-class mobile accessories. And I'd be surprised to be saying this 3 weeks ago, but I guess some of the tools we've found for the modern nomad in this day and age are medical supplies. So we're there to plug some holes, and hopefully it's just that. Hopefully it's plugging some holes in this time of need, and hopefully we beat this thing all together and get back on our regular course of business. But until then, we're going to be moving on this.
Where's the best site for people to go to for more information? Your main website is nomadgoods.com, but then you've got a special page for this?
Yeah, if you go to nomadgoods.com and you click in the title bar, you'll see we have a link to it on our site. We haven't broadcasted on our main site yet, just because it's such a new initiative. We are kind of running it more under we've been doing it more directly with people in the medical community and so forth via word of mouth, but we will likely be unveiling a little bit more access to it on our site. But if you click down in the menu title bar, you'll see a link to it there. And I believe we may also have a recent blog article on it, which should lead you to it.
Any idea what the numbers are looking like? How many of these you can produce in any given week?
We're talking in the hundreds of thousands right now. So the numbers are real, and based on needs that I've seen from the broader frontline responding community, we should be able to have a meaningful impact in that. By all means, the need is substantially more than that, but we've been doing this for 10 days, so we'll see where we are 10 days from now.
Terrific. Again, nomadgoods.com is the main website to head to. Noah Dentzel, thank you for taking the time with us, and congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you, Fred.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C. Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C. Crane.